Utah, and the Glenmore Reservoir Dogs from Calgary, Alberta. We are just a few jams in. Uinta holding they've got 4 points. Glenmore 12. I am Wilhelm Scream.
I'm Screamin' Mimi.
We will be your announcers today. Both of these teams relatively new to MRDA, the Men's Roller Derby Association. Bradass out there for Glenmore. He is lead jammer. It's like Mr. Testosterone is going to try and chase him down. Relatively quick moving pack. Bradass ducking through on the inside, grabs some points, calls off the jam after picking up 4.
For Mr. Testosterone.
25 minutes on the clock. Uinta Madness 4, Glenmore Reservoir Dogs 16.
Uinta Madness actually ranked 34 in MRDA.
These two teams did play each other in October of this past year. Glenmore, it was an unsanctioned bout. Glenmore did come away with the win, 236 to 203. So a very close, high-scoring bout between these two teams. And Uinta gets lead jammer there. That is number 420, Milk Toast Boy. The rice ball for Glenmore is the jammer. Glenmore's jammer completes his initial pass. But Milk Toast Boy is coming up on the pack. Uinta holding the back of the pack. Milk Toast Boy coming into the pack kind of in an unorthodox fashion, ducking his head down. He does grab 2 on that jam.
Uinta Madness in the white jerseys and Glenmore Reservoir Dogs sporting the pretty black. They're pretty dressy.
And Uinta gets lead jam once again. That is number 570 in Thane. And Flustercluck, number 338 for Glenmore, fighting through, completing his initial pass. And Thane pushed to the outside by Dev Null, calls off the jam. 1 point grab for Uinta.
So Glenmore now has scoreless for 2 jams. They can stuck at 16 since jam number 4.
Like Mr. Testosterone back on the jam line for Uinta. I believe that's Bradass for Glenmore. Mr. Testosterone pushing his way past Dev Null, picks up lead jammer status for Uinta. That is indeed Bradass trying to jump on his horse and catch up to Mr. Testosterone.
Trying to slow things down. Sweep that wall away.
Mr. Testosterone pushes through.
No points for Glenmore.
Calls off the jam before the Glenmore jammer can pick up any points. Looks like Uinta grabs 3. The score is now 16 to 10 with 22:45 left in the first half.
I don't know why.
It's going to be the stripes, Rocco.
It's true. They'll blend into each other. Illusion of rest. That's right. Rice ball through.
Looks like both jammers out tangling with each other. Rice Ball is your lead jammer. Milk Toast Boy is trying to chase him down. There was some jammer confrontation going on for a little bit, for about half the length of the track. Rice Ball did disengage. Coming up on the back of the pack now. Slides his way past Cher. Knifes through, grabs his points, gets all 4, calls off the jam. Milk Toast Boy does grab a point.
That's Glenmore's fourth
The Glenmore Reservoir Dogs have a father-son team. Brad Ass is Riceball's son. How fun is that?
It's one of the few times where it's perfectly okay to hit your kid. And Uinta off the jam line very quickly. Insane picking up lead jammer status. Flustercluck trying to fight his way through. Bounces off of 1864. Khan completes his initial pass. Insane seeing Scrawny Johnny and Dev Null also bouncing off of Graffiti Petey. Jam called off, 2 points for Uinta. Nothing for Glenmore.
So 20 minutes and 40 seconds remaining. We've got a score of 20-13 in favor of Reservoir Dogs.
Defense for these teams, two teams doing a great job trapping these streamers back. Keeping the score fairly low for 10 minutes in.
That is Brad Ass out on the jam line for Glenmore. And Mr. Testosterone, not quite sure how he stayed in bounds. Mr. Testosterone did, in fact, stay in bounds, picked up lead jammer status. He's coming around. Brad Ass has not completed an initial pass yet, and Mr. Testosterone's already finishing a scoring pass. Picks up 4. It was a no pass, no point that was assessed. Did not pass one of the Glenmore skaters completely with both of them inbounds. Mr. Testosterone pushed to the outside, grabs one more point before calling it off. Brad Ass was sneaking up on the back of the pack. With 19 and a half to go, it is now a 20-18 score. Glenmore on top by 2.
Uta having 2 blockers out on there. The other 2 in the penalty box.
That is correct. Speaking of Riceball, there's someone on the line right now. He's up against the big Milk Toast Boy.
Milk Toast Boy and Riceball. Your jammers Riceball through the pack, picking up lead jammer status. But Milk Toast Boy trying to chase him down. Both jammers are out in the open, but that pack is moving quickly. 3-2.
I think we're going to see a lot of those tonight.
Glenmore holding that slight pack advantage. Uinta's about to get one of their blockers back.
Milk Toast Boy take a slide in turn number 2. That gave the Riceball a little bit of an extra run.
In fact, Sassy Sasquatch is almost keeping pace with his jammer. Riceball is up near the front. Got Khan in front of him. Sneaks around Khan, completing his scoring pass. 4 points. Milk Toast Boy completes a scoring pass of his own. Also grabs 4. Riceball is lead. He could call it off. Right now, both jammers just content to run. The pack has been running, but they're starting to slow down, allowing the jammers a little bit more leverage to catch up. Riceball approaches the pack, and his blockers infiltrate in, helping him create an opening. Grabs 2, calls it off.
Minutes in period 1 to Madness 22, Glenmore Reservoir Dogs 26.
Well, that is Flustercluck out there, lead jammer for Glenmore. Or Mr. Testosterone is going to chase him down. Trying to throw him off his game a little bit.
Both jammers come out on attack. Mr. Testosterone right on Flustercluck's tail.
Mr. Testosterone steering Flustercluck into his teammate, was Muffin Muncher. They get pushed Flustercluck into Mr. Testosterone, completing his scoring pass. Flustercluck also through. Muffin Muncher almost catching up to Flustercluck. Both Jammers grabbing 4 points on that pass. And once again, we're seeing one of the Uinta blockers a little bit lagging behind the pack. That's Khan. And a big hit delivered to Flustercluck. That knocks him to the ground. Flustercluck calls it off. Did grab 1 point and kept Mr. Testosterone from grabbing any more. So Glenmore slowly opening that lead back up.
Mayday Mayhem competitors and spectators are welcome to Loveland, Colorado and the Ranch Events Complex. The Ranch is Northern Colorado's premier events complex, hosting events of all sizes from corporate meetings to regional trade shows and premier livestock.
Bowling his way through the pack was Inthane, but Inthane picks up a track cut. That is going to put Glenmore on a power jam. That Glenmore jammer is Bradass.
Back comes to a stop in turn number 4.
He is slowing down his back, giving some instruction out there. Bradass sneaking through, sneaking around. Takes a hit from Muffin Muncher, but delivers as good as he gets. And a little agility out there. Sassy Sasquatch was trying to take him down. But with that jump and spin, Bradass staying on the track. Bradass pushed to the outside by Muffin Muncher. Muffin Muncher also went off the track. That allowed Bradass to come back in, but led to only 4 points instead of the full 5.
High block going to the Uinta Jammers. So Inthane back to
It looks like
block.
Inthane picking up a high block penalty as well.
Glenmore calls it off.
Glenmore is going to start on a power jam. We've got an official review being called for.
So we have our trusty alternate ref heading out to tell us what is going on.
Make sure you hit that donate button on ColoradoSports.TV. It's at the bottom right hand of your screen. Click the button.
If you've been enjoying Roller Derby, brought to you all day long, and it's going to be all weekend long here for the Mayday Mayhem 2014. Show your appreciation financially with the donate button.
The Glenmore Reservoir Dogs roster 5 members of the men's team Canada. Rice Ball, Bradass, Flustercluck, Quiet Riot, and Dev Nall are all members of men's team Canada.
That's one of the things that's just showing how roller derby has grown over the last few years. Is just a couple of years ago we did the first Women's World Cup, and now we've got enough men's players globally that we can do a Men's World Cup as well.
One power jam so far, 9 power points scored by Glenmore in the first 15 minutes of play. That's pretty impressive.
That is. And that's
We're just over 15 minutes gone in this first half. The score is currently 42 for Glenmore, 26 for Uinta. 16 points separating the two teams. That holds true to the previous matchup where it was decided by 33. So I mentioned before this is probably going to be a fairly close bout, and it's certainly looking that way right now.
All we do is we just want that words. We'll double check with our trusty alternate referee here. Okay, so there was not an official review, just a timeout by the Reservoir Dogs. Took the opportunity to have some words with the referees, though.
It looks like we are back once again. Glenmore starting out on a power jam, and that is Rice Ball. Rice Ball is lead jammer. Not guaranteed with the power jam, but good bet. Gold member on his way to the penalty box for Glenmore. That's going to knock them down to only 2 blockers on the track. And Uinta is using all 4 of their blockers to bounce Rice Ball around. He fights through, picks up 5 points on his scoring pass. Inthane coming back onto the track. Rice Ball approaching the pack for his second scoring pass, gets tangled up there at the front of the pack. I believe that was with Milk Toast Boy. And Thane does complete his initial pass. It was Milk Toast Boy. Rice Ball neck and neck with Khan. Calls off the jam, did get his hips around, full 5 on that second pass. A 10-point jam for Rice Ball.
So a 10-point jam for Glenmore right there. 5 of those 10 points were power points, so that jacked their total at 14 so far in power points in this game.
On the line against Milk Toast Boy.
Flustercluck and Sassy Sasquatch, your jammers. Sassy Sasquatch being slowed down at the front of that pack by G.I. Jones from Glenmore. Finally getting around G.I. Jones. And Flustercluck is in the penalty box. I believe that was a back block penalty. That's going to put you into on a power jam. The Sassy Sasquatch trying to bull his way through. His teammates using the passive offense strategy. Iron Manson and Devno have to let Sassy Sasquatch go. That's 5 points for Uinta. What was once passive becomes a bit more active as Skaticus Maximus interferes with the Glenmore blockers along Sassy Sasquatch to sneak through, grab another 5 points. But Flustercluck is out of the penalty box, and 2 Uinta blockers go in. That's going to put Glenmore on a 4-2 pack advantage. Sassy Sasquatch trying to spot his opening. Gets knocked to the ground by Dev Null as he's calling the jam off.
That's a long way to fall for Sassy Sasquatch. He's 500 foot tall.
I'm pretty sure I heard a timber somewhere.
That was a big 14-point jam by Sassy Sasquatch. 10 of those 14 points.
Big 12 points for Sasquatch on that jam. 4 for Glenmore. The score is now 56-38. Glenmore still on top. 11:20 to go in the first period.
Still 2 blockers out there for Uinta.
And those 2 blockers are going to have a tough time slowing down Bradass, but Khan does everything he can. Almost allows his jammer to spring free. His jammer is Milk Toast Boy. Milk Toast Boy gets tangled up in the back of the pack. Bradass is through the pack and out as lead. Makes a little adjustment, fixes his skate. Dodges around a hit attempted by Khan. That's 5 more points on the board for Glenmore. Milk Toast Boy still being slowed down at the front. Takes a big hit from Gold Member. Bradass through the pack again, another 5 points. Muffin Muncher tossing down number 6 Quiet Riot from Glenmore. Bradass and Milk Toast Boy getting tangled with each other. Milk Toast Boy stepping back, playing a little defense.
Hugh Manchu is sent to the penalty box. Forearms.
Big shot there.
And Milk Toast Boy tangling with Gold Member and Quiet Riot. Again, Milk Toast Boy keeps coming in with that approach into the pack where he just drops his head down. Bradass getting another 5. 15 points so far this jam for the Reservoir Dogs. Bradass runs right into Muffin Muncher. Muffin Muncher picking up a direction of play penalty. Another 3 points for Bradass. That makes it an 18-point jam. Score is opening up. That lead is now almost double, 74-38, with 9 minutes and 20 seconds left on the clock.
We've got a timeout by Uinta Madness.
Both coaches went signaling for a timeout there, so.
Uinta got dibs.
Got dibs, yep.
Both teams trying to take a timeout at the same time. Uinta got the upper hand, you could say, on that, even though they're now down 1 more timeout than the other team.
Our officiating, our announcers, everyone
But both teams also, interestingly, letting almost the full reset time go before calling that timeout.
Yes.
Facebook, just search for Blackjack. Thank you much to Blackjack. He's been really for feeding us.
And Unta wins the race to call a timeout.
Don't forget to be back here first thing in the morning.
And Uinta did play earlier today, played against Lane County Concussion. This is Glenmore's first bout of the weekend. So they are a little bit fresher right now, which
Okay, I'll wait.
may impact things a little bit.
Roller Derby take on Pueblo Derby Devils right here on track 1. Bright and early in the morning at 8:30. Bring your coffee. We'll be here ready to rock and roll right along with you.
Rock and roll that early in the morning is always needs an audience.
Both teams with only 3 blockers on the track. Rice Ball jamming for Glenmore. Inthane jamming for Uinta. Inthane gets through. He does pick up lead jammer status for Uinta. Rice Ball out of the pack right afterwards. And Inthane, seeming to know that Rice Ball was breathing down his heels, decided, you know, he's a little bit faster. I'm just going to go ahead and call that off. 0-0 jam.
You know, one of the things, Rocco, that I've been
We're going to reset, and the only thing that was lost was some time.
is I watched their game against Lane County earlier this morning where they had a pretty knockdown, drag-out performance, winning by 287 to 114 over Lane County. And they
Mr. Testosterone on the jam line for Uinta. And that is Flustercluck for Glenmore. Mr. Testosterone picks up lead jammer status. Flustercluck fights his way through the pack, completing that initial pass. Penalty box empties. Both teams with a full complement of skaters. Mr. Testosterone does get pushed out. Mr. Testosterone calls off the jam.
Quiet Riot was hoping for a cutting the track.
You went to the jammer, they're a little confused what's going on, whether he's being called on a penalty or not.
Well, click. Hugh Manchu was sent to the penalty box.
Got 2 points on that pass, though, bringing them up to 40 to 79 from Glenmore. So still keeping it in pretty close proximity here as we wind down with 7.5 minutes.
Glenmore sends up Bradass to the jam line. And that appears to be Milk Toast Boy for Uinta. And Milk Toast Boy pushed way to the inside by Scrawny Johnny. Also, Dev Null was part of that. Iron Manson. Big collision knocking Milk Toast Boy to the ground. Iron Manson on his way to the penalty box. Bradass coming around. He approached the back of the pack just about the same time Milk Toast Boy was leaving the front of it. Bradass grabs his 4 points.
They call it off. This line item sports referee.
If you haven't already had a chance to make it over to their booth, head on over to the Skate Racks booth.
Looks like we've got Rice Ball out on the jam line for Glenmore.
For all of your skate needs, you can visit Brian and Kristen. They've got bearings, wheels, everything you need.
And that's Muffin Muncher for Uinta.
Rice Ball on the line.
This is Uinta's first time as the jammer this bout.
69.
Rice Ball stays on the track, almost pushed off to the outside. Does pick up lead jammer status. Couple of skaters from each team heading to the penalty box.
His initial pass.
In fact, Quiet Riot going in. That's going to leave one blocker on the track right now.
Gold member on his way to sit, and Iron Manson returns to the game.
As does Khan from Uinta. Both teams micro pack. 2-on-2. You don't see micro pack very often anymore with the 30-second penalty, but it still does happen every once in a while. Rice Ball grabbing his points, and looks like Mr. Beast getting sent to the penalty box for a out-of-play penalty. That was going to put Skaticus Maximus out there alone as the only Uinta blocker. He's dealing with 3 blockers from Glenmore. The Jammers are Mr. Testosterone.
So again, these two teams continue to trade off the lead jammer pickups throughout this whole first half.
And that is Flustercluck. Flustercluck getting through with little difficulty, picking up lead jammer status.
Both of those jammers trying to hit, miss, and go out.
1 blocker returning from each team. And Devno on his way into the box. Flustercluck getting through and picking up a penalty for cutting the track. That is going to put Uinta on a power jam. Mr. Testosterone having difficulty with Quiet Riot and Graffiti Petey. Dread Weasley into the penalty box for Uinta. Mr. Testosterone grabs 4 on that pass. Both teams now back up to 3 blockers.
Quiet Riot had to let him go.
Iron Manson and Quiet Riot trying to slow down Mr. Testosterone, doing a good job. Mr. Testosterone fights through, grabs up the full 5. And Glenmore gets Devno back on the track. They've got their full complement of blockers again. Flustercluck out of the penalty box, completing his previous scoring pass to grab 4. Mr. Testosterone trying to spin around Devno, dodging a couple of hits. 1 from Quiet Riot, 1 from Graffiti Petey. Flustercluck knifes through again, another 4 points. Mr. Testosterone trying to call off the jam, but he is not lead jammer. It's a full 2-minute jam. Mr. Testosterone has clearly gassed right now. And that's allowing Flustercluck to zoom through and grabbing 5 points with that jammer lap point. And Flustercluck finds an opening on the outside. 1 slight step to juke around Mr. Beast. And that is another 5 points. Full 2 minutes elapsed. Another pile of points.
So that was a big jam for both teams. If I did my math correctly, it looks like Uinta picked up.
It's like a timeout being called.
Pardon me, math. 13 points, 9 of them being power points.
Big jam, 32 points total scored on that jam. 19 for Glenmore, 13 for Uinta. With 2:40 left in this first half, Glenmore Reservoir Dogs 106, Uinta Madness 53.
Not ours yet. It is some monster, absolutely monster jams by Glenmore on 2 or 3 different occasions here where they need to rack up all these points.
That comes down to having such high.
Another interesting similarity between these 2 teams. Both of them were founded in 2010 and both joined MRDA for the first time in 2013. Gunning after that top spot currently held by your mom men's roller derby out of Des Moines.
And number 338, Flustercluck. Wait.
That's still Flustercluck.
That's 22. Bradass.
There we go.
Had 18 points.
Let's see if we can find out what this official review is all about.
And this is indeed an official review, not a timeout that has been called.
All right, so it sounds like
challenge the
White was
points on
challenging
the initial on the
validity of
pass.
some of those points.
As soon as the black jammer exited the box, he was already on the scoring pass. Points are correct. No.
It was decided they had completed their initial pass.
Yeah, that was an official review about scoring. Uinta was challenging whether or not the Glenmore Jammer had actually gotten all 4 of those points. He'd been on his scoring pass when he entered the penalty box originally. So when he completed the pass, he just finished and got the points that he had already accrued. So the score stands as it is. And we are back to action with Bradass out there jamming for Glenmore. And Sassy Sasquatch jamming for Uinta. Sassy Sasquatch being sent to the penalty box on a track cut. That's going to put Bradass on a power jam. Bradass is lead jammer.
2 2 minutes left in period one. Unta Madness 53, Glenmore Reservoir Dogs 106.
In turn number 4. Reservoir Dogs come up to drive.
Bradass pushed to the infield. Bit of a pileup on the pivot line. G.I. Jones is going to the penalty box for that. Looks like Skidicus Maximus and Conner tangle up as well. Bradass giving some instruction to his team. Takes a big hit from Cher. That jam's called off. Looks like Bradass may have caught that one up a little bit high.
Tried to get through the window that closed in a fast hurry.
Well, it certainly didn't look like it was an intentional high block. It looked like it was more of a difference of Bradass trying to come in a little bit low and Cher just standing up.
They've been playing very clean this game, and it's always nice to see. More exciting.
That's one thing. We've seen a lot of penalties, but most of them they've been for things like track cuts and out of play. Nothing that's egregious. Sassy Sasquatch back from the penalty box. Once again on the jam line. And Sassy Sasquatch is lead jammer Quiet Riot on his way to the penalty box for Glenmore.
Quiet Riot cut the track.
Rice ball sent into the outfield, almost taking out one of the outside pack officials. Sassy Sasquatch bowls through 5 points. And Rice ball pushed outside again by Inthane. And Inthane forces him to recycle back deep, going a long way. Inthane is assessed a penalty, though. Meanwhile, Sassy Sasquatch grabs another 5 points.
Unta only has 2 blockers.
Rice ball finally completing his initial pass. A couple of Glenmore skaters getting tangled up with each other. That's Repka. Looks like he was being tangled with Goldmember. Sassy Sasquatch calls off the jam. Does grab another 2 points. 12-point jam for Uinta. Puts the score 111 for Glenmore, 65 for Uinta. We are at halftime between these two teams.
I think the clock says 15, but I think
the clock lies.
The clock lies.
Just like the cake. Cake is lies.
You know, often in games like this, penalties will really help swing things, and specifically jammer penalties. This game, it hasn't seemed like jammer penalties have been too impactful. It's just been one team being able to pile up a lot of points on a standard jam.
Yes. Lots of penalties. The penalty box has been used quite much.
Well, they're definitely they're definitely making sure that our penalty trackers are being kept busy and on their toes.
Right.
All right, we will be back with the second half of action between Uinta and Glenmore in just a little bit. Stick around. You're watching ColoradoSports.TV and the Mayday Mayhem 2014.
Sticker Giant helps people make great stickers. I'm John Fisher, and I started the company. Every sticker has a story behind it. Every sticker has something behind it besides just stickiness.
People seem to flock towards stickers no matter what they are all about.
It's a portable billboard. It can go anywhere.
Seeing stickers on little girls' foreheads.
Cars, motorcycles.
Stop signs, we don't endorse that.
Baby bottoms.
I see stickers everywhere. I see stickers in my dreams.
We're a small little group of people, and we all kind of have the same vision for success.
Every person is quality-minded, top to bottom. We're about getting the job done right.
The quality of Sticker Giant stickers is really fantastic. We run 3 different materials here. All of them were researched to find the best possible thing we can get.
We can get your email and process your stickers in 24 hours and get them out to you.
We try and do things quickly, we try and do them accurately, and we try and get people the stickers that they want. People ask me what I do and I go, we make stickers all day. There's this company in rural Boulder County and all they do is make stickers and labels. What makes Sticker Giant a great sticker? What the customer wants, because we can print any kind of sticker. Every day there's a sticker to where I see it and I just want to know the story behind it. I want to know the company. I want to talk to the owner.
We take people's passions, things that they're really fired up about. We make it over and over and over so those people can tell their story to the world.
Yes, I've been dealing with this the whole first half. We lost the internet completely, so that's why we're down. Like this right here, this icon is a TV with an X, or a monitor with an X, we're recording it, and those probably will be the first rebroadcast back. So that's the best we can do.
Holy crap.
Okay. I've been doing this for almost 3 years, and I know that I really do everything. I mean, I heard some less than 10.
I'm sure they try not to love to get a DVD of all the games.
Need a big beer and a big joint.
I'm completely in agreement on the big beer.
Thankfully, we're on commercial, so I'm not worried about what I'm saying right now.
Yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We are going to get the second half going shortly. Quick visual gear check for all the skaters. Once again, the score coming out of the halftime, 111-65. Glenmore Reservoir Dogs from Calgary, Alberta, on top of the Uinta Madness from Salt Lake City. Both teams keeping that penalty box busy. Not a lot of power plays happening throughout the first bout, or first half of the bout. We'll see if that holds true for the second half. Uinta did have a big 12-point jam at the end of that first half to close that gap, and it is still well within reach. Also, we understand that track 2 is down. If you've been trying to watch the bout happening over on track number 2, It is down. We apologize for that.
Referee in front of you, so you can't see that's plus the clock. It's a mystery jam.
We are back underway here on track number 1. Flustercluck lead jammer and Milk Toast Boy trying to fight through for Uinta. Goes down and after colliding with, I believe, Dev Null. Flustercluck through for 5 points. Milk Toast Boy finally getting around Goldmember to complete his initial pass. Flustercluck seeing the back of that pack. Milk Toast Boy almost took a tumble in the apex between turns 1 and 2. Stayed on his wheels. Flustercluck pushed out by Muffin Muncher. Milk Toast Boy pushed out by Goldmember.
Goldmember knocking Milk Toast Boy out.
Khan skating back to give some support to Muffin Muncher. And both teams have reversed positions. The packs, it used to be Glenmore had the back of it and Uinta had the front. Trying to contain each other's jammers. The teams switched places and Uinta took the back. Milk Toast Boy pushed to the outside by Dev Null. Flustercluck getting around Khan takes a big hit from number 725, Mr. Beast. Looks like Muffin Muncher on his way to the penalty box. Milk Toast Boy being forced to recycle back deep. Flustercluck pushed to the outside and he's recycled back. There's Insane pushing him back. Milk Toast Boy disappearing behind an entire wall of black. And Repka became a bit more of a barrier on the track going down and skaters had to jump over him. 14 points awarded to Glenmore in that jam, 4 for Uinta.
Uinta picked up 10 lead jammers. Glenmore picked up 12.
Once again, Uinta has two people in the penalty box, 1 jammer. So this will be a power jam for Glenmore.
Milk Toast Boy assessed a penalty near the end of that jam. That's going to allow Rice Ball through alone. He is the sole jammer. Skaticus Maximus falls hard and falls on his elbow. Skaticus Maximus being checked out by the EMTs.
Looks like he felt just right on that arm.
Skaticus Maximus getting some medical attention from our fantastic medical staff here at Mayday Mayhem.
Yes, we want to thank all of our medical staff. We can't have these boats without to keep us all safe and all injured, all uninjured.
He's being looked at. Looks he's back upright. Still not on his skates, but looks like he's at least able to put some weight back on that arm, which is definitely a positive sign.
A little bit of rotation there as well. In
fact, might have been instead of an elbow, it might have been a shoulder. I've seen skaters fall in a similar fashion, and it's always just kind of that breathtaking moment where everyone just kind of gasps when you see a fall that just happens to go wrong.
The floor can come up on you real fast.
But Skaticus is showing both his coach and the EMT that he still has pretty good range of motion. He will definitely be out for at least the next 3 jams. Hopefully we'll see him back in a couple of jams. Hopefully this isn't anything serious. He just basically stung his arm a little bit. But he'll get looked at by the EMTs, and like I said, hopefully in 3 jams we'll be able to see him back out on the track. with 27-11 to go between these two teams. The score is currently 125 for Glenmore, 69 for Uinta.
He's going to sit out for 3 jams at least. It was called for injury.
There is a reason why we wear safety gear.
Yes.
And so many of them.
And we're going to get lined up for another jam.
So much work.
Bradass out on the jam line for Glenmore.
In a power jam.
Milk Toast Boy has not completed his 30 seconds yet. That unfortunate fall for Skaticus Maximus happened so quickly after the start of that jam that Milk Toast Boy is still in the penalty box serving his 30 seconds.
There's nothing quite like it.
No, this is true. Unless you want to be a referee. Then you have to send everyone to the penalty box. That's fine.
And Glenmore stretching that pack out, allowing Uinta to put 2 at the jammer line and 2 at the pivot line. Ends up allowing Bradass to get through the pack, though. He is lead jammer. Milk Toast Boy is standing in the penalty box. He's got less than 10 seconds left. He is released, coming back onto the track. Slowed down, trying to get around gold member Repka, Quiet Riot, and Dev Null does so to complete his initial pass. Bradass does grab 5 points, getting that jammer lap point. Milk Toast Boy, again, that unorthodox skating style. He looks like he's going to tip himself over even in the apexes as he's making that sharp turn. Can't quite get any points on the score on his scoring pass, and Bradass does call it before grabbing any more points of his own.
Glenmore really picked up the pack speed there, banking on the fatigue that's starting to set in for the Uinta team in that number 2. Milk Toast Boy taking it slow.
Looks like Mr. Testosterone and Dread Weasley got tangled up with each other, lining up to get set for this jam. Flustercluck out on the jam line and jamming for Uinta. That Cher is lead jammer. That's Cher's first time jamming. Flustercluck trying to chase after is not lead. Cher bouncing off of Scrawny Johnny, sneaking around Iron Manson. Calls off the jam after grabbing 3 points for Uinta. Got just over 25 minutes left to go. 130 to 72. Glenmore on top. We went to send out Sassy Sasquatch.
Find us. Those are bouncers. Take pictures of us.
Glenmore responding with Bradass. Sassy Sasquatch through the pack, picks up lead jammer status. Bradass, as the jam was started, attempted a star pass to Quiet Riot. It took a little while before Quiet Riot could get the jammer cap on his head.
First time we've seen Quiet Riot up on the penalty.
This is a successful star pass, but Sassy Sasquatch is out in the penalty box. Quiet Riot, because he did not start as the jammer, cannot be lead jammer. Going to go a full 2 minutes on this jam. And Quiet Riot dealing with Mr. Testosterone. Ends up getting around. Mr. Testosterone picks up a penalty for blocking out of play.
Didn't quite stop soon enough, and he knew it right away.
He started actually heading towards the penalty lane before he was even whistled for the penalty.
He knew he wasn't going to get away with that.
So Sasquatch back on the track, trying to push his way through that black wall. Slides off a hit from Hugh Manchu.
Sasquatch still goes down in the middle of the pack.
He's being slowed down by Bradass. Quiet Riot getting around 1864. Khan. Sassy Sasquatch dealing with Hugh Manchu. And then knocked to the outside by Bradass.
Muffin Muncher was sent to the penalty box for a clockwise and has been joined by Khan.
His initial pass. No pass, no penalty there on that.
So Unta has 2 blockers.
So you can get out the back. Smart.
And Glenmore sends 1. That's Bradass that's going into the penalty box. Muffin Muncher is standing, as is Khan. Quiet Riot grabs 5 points. Sassy Sasquatch being stifled throughout that jam. A lot of that stifling was done by Hugh Manchu.
For Quiet Riot, 2 points on the board for Sassy Sasquatch.
I'm really jealous of Hugh Manchu's hair.
I think he's powered by dreadlocks. Big 15 points on that jam for Glenmore. 2 for Uinta. 145 to 74 with 22 and a half to go. And just like in the first half, Uinta taking almost all of the reset time between jams to then take a timeout.
I'm really enjoying this one, to be honest. Very good. These boys are doing everything right.
This has been great, but I think my favorite that I saw on track walk has to be Slaughterhouse versus West Texas. The fight that I saw from both those teams, and that's metaphorical fight, not literal fight. Metaphorical fight, both those teams was just so phenomenal.
Unta only has 1 timeout left. Glenmore Reservoir Dogs have 2. Period 2, 22 minutes.
It's so hard to pick a favorite.
But I made you get a fight.
But you made it.
We'd like to take a moment to thank some of our sponsors. Sticker Giant, the custom sticker experts, official sticker company of ColoradoSports.TV. Check them out at www.stickergiant.com. If you use the code Roller Derby, 2 words, Roller and Derby, at checkout you will get 10% off of your order. And who doesn't need stickers?
I need stickers.
Flustercluck needs stickers to denote that he is lead jammer, or he can just rely on the magic finger of power pointing out that he is, in fact, lead jammer. Cher sent off the track. That is a penalty for a forearm. That's going to put Glenmore on a power jam.
Forearm penalty going to Cher.
And Flustercluck's already grabbed a 5-point scoring pass, tries to catch a little bit of a whip from Bradass.
Working his way through.
Flustercluck dealing with Milquetoast Boy. Flustercluck completing his scoring pass, another 5 points. Dread Weasley trying to get back up with his teammates. Bradass trying to slow him down, throw him back, ends up not being able to do so.
G.I. Jones having a big collision there with Milquetoast Boy.
And Infane pushing Flustercluck back deep, allowing Cher to come out of the penalty box and catch up before Flustercluck can complete another scoring pass.
Both jammers on the floor at the same time.
In fact, and this is rare in this bout, but a completely empty penalty box.
Yes, for now.
Cher is trying to push through. And dealing with Dev Null at the front of that pack. Cher does complete. And now we've returned back to rights. There is a penalty. Dread Weasley into the penalty box. I believe that was a out of play penalty. Flustercluck gets through another 4 points. Cher trying to push through for some points of his own. Dealing with G.I. Jones, Dev Null. Also, Justice Bastacrash.
4-car pile up on turn 2.
That jam ends 159 to 74. Glenmore on top. 20 minutes to go.
Once again, Utah has 2 blockers in the penalty box.
Now those 2 blockers are Infane and Dread Weasley. Dread Weasley is standing.
I know someone has lost, but you've lost your wedding band.
And Sassy Sasquatch trying to push through that 4-wall. Bradass able to get around the outside.
Lead jam going to
Bradass is lead jammer for Uinta, or for, not Uinta, sorry, Glenmore. Sassy Sasquatch for Uinta pushes his way past Hu Manchu.
Slow him down when he gets moving. 4 points for Bradass.
Bradass grabs 4 points and a couple of blockers for Glenmore into the box now. Now it's Uinta that's got the full complement of 5 skaters. And Glenmore down to only 2 blockers. Those 2 are Repka and Hu Manchu. Sassy Sasquatch gets past both of them. Bradass, nice spin move there, dodging a hit from Ian Thane, and then tangles with Mr. Testosterone to complete his scoring pass. Another 4 points picked up by Bradass. Glenmore regaining the services of both of their blockers. Gold member out there, and also, once again, part of that pack is Quiet Riot.
Gets knocked down by Quiet Riot.
Sassy Sasquatch hit the floor hard.
Quiet Riot pulling him all the way back.
Getting a big hit from Quiet Riot. Sending him back.
4 more points for
Bradass grabs another 4, completing that scoring pass. Sassy Sasquatch trying to push through, but he's got to deal with Quiet Riot. As Bradass makes a jump over the apex, grabs 5 points. Sassy Sasquatch once again just slowed down by Quiet Riot. Quiet Riot using that lower center of gravity and just digging his toe stops into the polished concrete. Bradass grabs another 4 points. That jam went the full 2 minutes.
17 minutes. And the Glenmore Reservoir Dogs 185, Unta Madness 85.
Last 3 jams. So really starting to extend that score now with a 100-point lead over Uinta.
It's turning into
Once again, these 2 teams played in October. It was a 33-point difference. Right now, Glenmore holding a 100-point lead over Uinta. Uinta share jamming. Share out of the pack.
no lead for Flustercluck.
And Flustercluck is jammer, but does not have the jammer cap. Therefore, cannot be lead. Share is the only lead that's an ineligible jammer right now.
Flustercluck not having the jammer pin. He's still the jammer, so he can travel wherever he wants in the pack, but he can go for effectively a blocker.
So Share picks up.
Share approved for 4 points.
Share gets the 4 points. Once again, Flustercluck is out there without the jammer panty on his helmet. So they've basically, for all intents and purposes, Glenmore has 5 blockers, but no point scorers in this jam. And Share bouncing off Flustercluck, then trying to use Scrawny Johnny to his advantage. Winter does have one of the Glenmore skaters goaded behind their pack, behind their wall, which puts them in complete control of what this pack does right now. And Scrawny Johnny picks up a penalty for blocking out of play. Share coming around again, grabbed 5 points on that pass. And Share trying to sneak through, finds Graffiti Petey knocking Share to the ground.
Khan on his way to the penalty box for clockwise.
And Share pushed back against having come back in behind Dev Null. And the Glenmore blockers have just been brutalizing the Uinta jammers all bout long.
Graffiti Petey goes to the penalty box for a clockwise block as well.
Just as Scrawny Johnny was coming out of the box.
So a big jam of their own for Share. 15 points on the board. Now, I don't know if you know this, Rod, but Share
15 points for Share.
And just so you notice, track 2 is back up and fully operational again. So if you've been trying to watch that bout, you can tune back in. Otherwise, stick right here for the tail end of this bout between Glenmore and Uinta. What's going to score is 185 to 100. Glenmore on top. Uinta just pulled off a big jam, helped honestly by the fact that the Glenmore Jammer did not have the Jammer star on his helmet. But you have to give a lot of credit to Glenmore also because their defense really prevented that from being an even bigger jam than it was.
Definitely.
This weekend, as we all know, we could not play this game without them. It would be awful boring. And so I always like to give a shout out.
And if you've been watching ColoradoSports.TV all day long, if you're planning on watching all weekend long, and if you appreciate roller derby being broadcast across the interwebs, feel free to show your appreciation. There's a donate button down in the bottom right. Greatly appreciated.
It's a great way to watch roller derby, especially if you're in Canada and you couldn't make it to Colorado, or if you happen to be in Norway.
If you happen to be cheering on the team from Nidaros and you're watching from Trondheim.
Yes.
Sasquatch online. Despite what you may think, the jam is not.
All right, we've got Sassy Sasquatch on the jam line.
There we go.
Bradass also on the jam line. Very slow start to the jam. Almost 15 seconds elapsed before anyone actually started skating after that whistle. The Sassy Sasquatch fights through, picks up lead jammer status for Uinta.
That's now 2 in a row for Uinta.
Bradass got far behind him.
And the penalty box empties. Both teams getting their full complement of blockers back on the track. Sassy Sasquatch coming up to the back of the pack. Calls the jam. 0-0.
On that one. Score remains 185 to 100 in favor of the Glenmore Reservoir Dogs. 13 minutes, 45 seconds remaining in the game.
Flustercluck out on the jam line for Glenmore. He does have the star on his helmet this time. And Insane is out jamming for Winta. But Flustercluck is lead jammer. But Insane is hot on his heels. And a very, very fast-moving pack.
Mixing it up, just kind of getting in his way a little bit.
Mr. Testosterone out the front of that pack. He's separated from the rest of his teammates, but they're racing right now.
It's true.
But boy, look at the speed this pack has picked.
This is actually looking like it's going to benefit Glenmore, though, because some of the Winter skaters were further back. And we've just had Repka just took a spill, taking out one of our officials. Each jammer grabbing 4 points on that pass. And they're coming on for more points. Insane pushed to the outside by Goldmember. Comes back in. And he has assessed a track cutting penalty. It actually took a little while for Insane to be assessed that penalty. In that time, Flustercluck was assessed a penalty as well. Flustercluck was close to the penalty box. He's going to get the benefit of this, but neither jammer is going to sit for very long. Flustercluck released. Insane will serve the same amount of time. In fact, he's already been released. Flustercluck pushed to the outside by Mr. Testosterone. Another 4 points being grabbed by Winta there. 189 to 104. And one thing we're starting to notice in this second half is both teams seem content to just let the full 2 minutes elapse. There's not a lot of calling off the jam before that 2 minutes is gone. And we've got a timeout being called by Uinta.
It looks like an official review happening for White.
It's worked very hard to get this stuff right. My little baby brother is a referee for New Hampshire.
We'd like to thank another one of our sponsors, RD Nation, a smarter way to derby, bringing roller derby to the masses. We help leagues manage themselves better so they can skate more. Download the free software at rdnation.com.
Free.
Free is the magic word in roller derby.
It's free.
It really is. Name another sport that's got that kind of a percentage of reps to players.
This is indeed now an official timeout.
Until you get to a one-on-one sport, you don't really see that in any other sport.
And sometimes
It's like it's actually, it started as an official review, so not a timeout being called by Uinta.
so we can
There we go. It's officially official. It's an official review.
it's an officially official review.
Exactly.
We're definitely keeping an eye on that penalty box. Empty right now, but we've been keeping an eye on it. It has been relatively busy all bout long, but doesn't seem like anyone has fouled out as of yet. Looks like both teams still have their full bench.
With a break, there is actually a lunch break in the middle of that to catch up.
What is this lunch that you speak of?
I don't know. I did 5 out of 6 games today. I have no idea.
We are going 12 solid hours of derby tomorrow. 12 hours, 16 bouts. Track 1, we are going to kick things off with Junction City versus Pueblo.
And during this official timeout, or official review, if you're starting to plan your day for tomorrow,
It starts early.
We start early, 8:30 a.m. Mountain Time. 8:30 a.m. the bouts will be starting. We'll be going until 8:30 p.m. with the start of the final bouts. Again, that is Mountain Time.
Do you guys need to know that was not an official review? That was an official timeout? Okay.
And did just receive correction. That was an official timeout, not an official review. So just making sure that we've got everything absolutely correct.
All right, so Sassy Sasquatch on with Bradass.
All right, we've got Sassy Sasquatch and Bradass, and we're back to the action after that official timeout. And Sassy Sasquatch trying to fight through, gets bounced to the inside by Graffiti Petey. Bradass out and lead Jammer.
Dev Null being sent to the penalty box for a multiplayer.
And Sassy Sasquatch just collides with Graffiti Petey. Fights through to complete that initial pass. Bradass is already picking up points. And Bradass takes a big hit.
Sassy Sasquatch catch up.
Sassy Sasquatch trying to push through Scrawny Johnny now. Gets around.
Let Sassy Sasquatch go.
Khan for Unta is in the penalty box for a high block.
Yeah, Bradass over in the apex between turn 3 and 4. He'd taken a big hit from Mr. Beast and just kind of looked like he had to think about whether he wanted to try and skate past him again. Also good to see Skaticus Maximus back on the track. Excuse me. Good to see him back on the track after he did suffer that injury earlier. He missed his 3 jams, and he is back out there skating. So clearly nothing that was serious.
These gentlemen going 4 point, 8 points to Uinta, 8 points to Glenmore.
And knotted at 8s for the result of that jam. The score is currently now 197 to 116 with 9.5 to go between these two teams. Glenmore on top right now.
Remember, folks, this is a rematch from an October 2013 bout where Glenmore squeaked out a win 33 points over Uinta.
Rice ball.
We got Rice Ball jamming for Glenmore. And Cher caught behind the entire pack from Glenmore. Quiet Riot, G.I. Jones, Justice Bastacrash, and Dev Null. Cher finally gets through. Rice Ball is just fighting. And Dev Null picks up a back block. That's going to knock down Glenmore to 3 in their wall. Mr. Testosterone and Cher getting tangled up with each other thanks to Quiet Riot. Quiet Riot trying to push Cher out again. Cher dealing with Justice Bastacrash and Quiet Riot getting around. Rice Ball calling off the jam, does grab another 4. 4 also for Cher.
So that takes the dogs past that double century mark, 201 to 120.
So an interesting note here, something happened with Rice Ball in this.
Glenmore gets to the double century mark, 201 points now. You went to Madness at 120.
Not anymore.
And we've got an official timeout being called.
You do not get a track cut. That saves a lot of jammers' butts. Both this weekend and...
And I was mentioning the bouts in the morning, starting in at 8:30 Mountain Time. The morning bouts are going to finish the seeding. What we're doing now is these bouts are all just figuring out exactly where the placement's going to be for the knockout tournament. So we're figuring out the seeding through group play, and then we're going to be moving on and starting with the 2:30 Mountain Time bouts. Those are going to be the knockout bouts for the tournament.
I am pleased to report that the wedding ring has been successfully reunited with its owner. Yay! Thank you.
Once again, this is a very large tournament. I believe that was Derby News Network actually referred to this as the second largest tournament happening in the country this year.
It's fun to see men and women's derby in the same place.
It's been fantastic all day to be able to go from WFTDA teams to MRDA teams, and on Sunday it's going to be Junior Derby.
Yes.
And that's definitely something to keep your eye on. If you've never seen Junior Derby before, you need to give it a shot. It is the future of roller derby, and there are some junior skaters that I've seen that are already world class and can definitely hold their candle against the adults. They just aren't of the age that they can play with the adults yet.
Click on the donate button. Either they can donate $1, $2, $5 to help cover the coverage. That's coverage inception. Cover the coverage here of Mayday Mayhem. Every little bit helps, even if it's just a few bucks. So
And once again, if you have been enjoying the Derby stream, if you want to help out, if you want to contribute, help provide for the coverage, the streaming, paying for everything that's been happening, by all means, click the donate button. It is on the bottom right of your screen on ColoradoSports.TV. Just click that donate button. Give what you can, if you can. Obviously, it's not a paywall. We're not forcing people to donate. We're just asking. We're gently prodding.
Sasquatch on the line with, I believe that's Flustercluck.
All right, we are back after that official review, or official timeout. Flustercluck and Sassy Sasquatch, your jammers. Sassy Sasquatch pushed to the outside, but he did pick up a forearm penalty. Flustercluck on the power jam. Steps around, picks up a no pass, no penalty.
2-minute jam. No pass, no penalty. As he passed Milk Toast Boy on the outside.
Flustercluck is out of the pack, not lead jammer. It's going to be a full 2-minute jam.
close out the final minutes of the last jam of the first day here with a nice
And
long...
Flustercluck getting 5 points on that scoring pass. Sassy Sasquatch standing in the penalty box, looking to rejoin the fray.
He's working his way through.
Flustercluck being pushed to the inside. Mr. Beast and Milk Toast Boy, the last lines of defense.
Sassy Sasquatch coming out of the penalty box, which is now empty.
And once again, Mr. Beast and Milk Toast Boy at the front, slowing down Flustercluck. Flustercluck getting knocked down there by Milk Toast Boy, but Milk Toast Boy also went down. That allows Flustercluck to bounce right back up. 5 full points for Flustercluck. Sassy Sasquatch trying to push through, getting bounced by Goldmember. And Flustercluck pushed out there by Mr. Beast. Good awareness, though. Realized that he needed to come back in behind Milk Toast Boy, who had recycled back quickly, trying to force that track cut. Sassy Sasquatch completing his initial pass. Did it, but there's only 8 seconds left in this jam. Another 4 points for Flustercluck.
That's 2 minutes.
Full 2 minutes elapse. And most of that time was spent with Sassy Sasquatch not completing his initial jam. He did spend 30 seconds in the penalty box, but just that defense being presented by Glenmore stifling Sassy Sasquatch as a jammer.
The Reservoir Dogs scored 14 points on that jam. They're up 215 to 120 with about 5 minutes to go.
That seems about right. Close enough.
Looks like we've got Cher on the jam line for Uinta. And that is Bradass for Glenmore.
Cher mixing up with Graffiti Petey.
And Bradass through the pack, picking up lead jammer status again. G.I. Jones sent over. Gets a high five from the people sitting in the near seats.
Bradass did a little hop, skip, and a jump.
Bradass is lead jammer. Cher did complete that initial pass. Bradass grabs 4 points, puts him up in the air. Cher trying to push through, gets a hit from Justice Bastacrash. Cher completes with a 4-point scoring pass. Bradass dodging, but dodges a little too well, dodges the track itself, picks up a track cut. That is going to put Cher on a power jam.
Let's see what he can do with it.
The penalty box was free and clear for quite some time there.
G.I. Jones and Cher mixing it up, the 2 nicest pairs of shorts.
Cher and G.I. Jones tangling with each other. Cher does pick up 4, a no pass, no point situation. Does not get the full 5.
He does miss one on a no pass, no penalty. On his way by.
Cher bouncing off a Quiet Riot and dealing it once again at the front. With G.I. Jones, gets around, grabs all 5 that time. Bradass back on the track, decides to take the long way around. A good head of steam up before re-entering the pack. Cher pushed out by Quiet Riot after Graffiti Petey. And Bradass colliding with Mr. Testosterone. And Bradass is going into the penalty box again for a forearm. That was a big, big hit delivered to Mr. Testosterone. Cher grabs another 2 points.
So that was a probably, I would say, the roughest jam, not counting the egregious backlash, the roughest jam I think we've seen in this age.
15 points for Uinta in that jam to 5 for the Reservoir Dogs. Reservoir Dogs ahead 220 to 135.
Both teams do still have 1 timeout left. Got just about 2.5 left on the clock, and Sassy Sasquatch is starting out in a power jam thanks to that forearm from Bradass at the end of that last jam. Sassy Sasquatch gets through, fights his way to pick up lead jammer status.
On the power jam.
Uinta fans making sure that their pleasure and what's happening is known.
And an illegal procedure penalty being assessed to Roland the Barbarian from Uinta. Sassy Sasquatch grabs 5 more points. And Bradass up on his wheels. And Sassy Sasquatch trying to push through. But an opening is created
inside, gets around for his
And
initial
Bradass
pass.
gets through to complete his initial pass. Sassy Sasquatch knocked down by Iron Manson. Was slowed down by Goldmember, the loud Iron Manson to make that hit. 7 points on that jam for Sassy Sasquatch.
So in the final minute and a half of the play clock, Uinta Magnet sits at 142 points. Glenmore Reservoir Dogs.
We got a 220 to 142 score between these two teams. They, again, unsanctioned between the two in October, 236 to 203. Glenmore took the win. Right now, they've got a much larger lead, and this is sanctioned, but Cher will try and whittle away that lead, grabs lead jammer status. Riceball is trying to fight through, and Riceball does complete his initial pass.
About a half a lap behind Cher.
Cher coming around, takes a hit from G.I. Jones.
Goes down the middle of the pack, along with several Glenmore walkers.
Riceball tangling with Mr. Testosterone, dodging a hit from Milk Toast Boy. Riceball again with Mr. Testosterone, pushed to the inside.
Can't recycle back too far.
And again, Mr. Testosterone pushing Riceball to the inside. Cher dealing with Quiet Riot, bounced outside. Riceball recycled back, Cher recycled back. Riceball fighting through. Riceball does complete that scoring pass, grabs 4 points.
Forcing Cher all the way back to turn 1.
And Cher trying to push through. Riceball getting tangled up with Dread Weasley. Cher knocked to the outside again. Gonna have to come back in behind Repka and Quiet Riot. Riceball pushing through.
4 points.
Cher calls off that jam, another 3 points.
And that's the game, ladies and gentlemen.
Our unofficial final score here is
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is a final. We don't have the official final yet. Unofficially, the score, 228 for Glenmore, 145 for Uinta.
Reservoir Dogs.
A rematch from 6 months ago. Same result, much bigger point spread, though, for Glenmore.
No, I chose this one.
And lots of penalties.
Definitely a lot of penalties. Keeping our penalty trackers busy, but a hard fought bout, very physical from both teams. And we'll see what happens if they do end up meeting up again in the bracket. We'll see if Uinta decides to get a little, or is able to get a little bit of revenge for the 2 losses they've now faced against Glenmore. If Glenmore is able to just keep things going. Again, this was also Uinta's second bout of the day and Glenmore's first, so that may have played somewhat into it as well. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Wilhelm Scream.
I'm Screaming Mimi.
And you've been watching Mayday Mayhem 2014 on ColoradoSports.TV. Thank you, and tune in tomorrow for more roller derby action.
229-145. Final score. That is the official final.
I'm gonna say though,